Hey guys. So, you might be thinking, wait, didn't he do one of these yesterday? And that I did. But this is my podcast and I can do whatever I want. I had like 3 or 4 more topics I wanted to cover, but like I would just kept talking about Patreon for a while, and honestly that wasn't really a good episode of the podcast. That was just me formulating my Patreon. Regardless, how's it going, guys? How have the last 24 hours been, I guess? For me, they've been lovely. What happened? Oh yeah, Jurassic Park Lost Fallen Kingdom trailer came out. That's pretty cool. I just watched that like 5 minutes ago. Looks interesting. They cut out the kind of irritating kids from Jurassic World. Even though I don't really have a problem with them, but they cut them out, so who knows? I think they're just doubling down on what made Jurassic World work, which is good. Nice Patreon, by the way. Oh my god, thank you. Oh yeah, in case any of you guys want to go to my Patreon, I did finish a draft of it. I'll probably be making a video about it this weekend. And then write my Christmas special. But you guys, if any of you guys want to do it, you guys can be one of the first people. Even though technically I only posted about it to Twitter just to ask people what they thought about it. Some guy already started patroning, so that's pretty cool. So here you go, patreon.com/loneclone. That's gonna be my next meme. Yeah. So, your Christmas Spectacular won't load. Will you explain the rules? Oh, Jesus. Why won't it load for people? See, I've been having that glitch recently with YouTube where a video's audio will load, but the video will just be black. And you can't pause the video by like, I'm on desktop, so you can't just like pause the video by clicking on it. Are you guys watching that video on mobile? I don't know, that might be a problem. It's not blocked on anything, so I don't know what the deal is. It's only got 300 views. So the thing is, can I explain the rules? Okay. Rules. it's got to be longer than a minute and less than 15 minutes. And if you just make like a 30-second brick film and add like 30 seconds worth of titles, I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to be way stricter with the rules from this year than last year because I have, you know, I had too many, I had a lot of entries last year. And so the thing that coming, so like rule number 2, it's got to be related to Christmas or the holidays or winter in general. Putting snow on the ground doesn't make it about winter. The whole idea of this thing is that it's thematic, so that when you see all these brick films together, there's like a common through line of like the holidays or winter, or like, oh, it's Christmas, but I live in Australia, so it's like hot, you know, something like that, some meme like that. So anyway, yeah, I want to watch the video again and reassure that I know the rules in case I want to send mine in. Yeah, it's not working. But did you try recently again over different periods of time? I don't want to re-upload that video. I already deleted the file. Oh no, it's in my trash. Damn it. I might re-upload it. Can it be 1:15? Yes, 1 minute 15 seconds is longer than a minute and less than 15 minutes. Other rules. Don't be just like racist or whatever. You can have gore, you can have violence, you can have foul language. Just like keep it in good taste, you know? Like have some self-awareness. I had some other rules I can't remember. What were they again? Oh. If you want to send it to me, you can send it to me at lonecloneproductions@gmail.com. Send a link. Don't send the file. Even though I said that in the video, somebody still asked, how do I send it? And I said over email, and he said, wait, do I send the file or the link? Even though I said the link very clearly, but that's okay. Nobody ever listens to me or what I say, but that's fine. I'll just post a comment here with all the rules on this video. I don't know why it's not working for people. Oh yeah, primarily stop motion animation. You can have live action bits if you want, but whatever. No copyright stuff, for the love of God. I don't want my video to be taken down. Especially since I don't really make money from these. So yeah. You gotta watch out writing Jonathan's video then. What do you mean? We already wrote it. Can it be a holiday party? Yes. That's related to Christmas. Okay, so it can just be over a second, over a minute long, as it's over 1 minute. Yes. Dude, it has to be at least 1 minute long. At least 1 minute. That's the minimum. The maximum is 15 minutes. This isn't what the Lone Clone is for. Okay? It's my show. It's my show where I talk about what I care about. That being said, that Zelda DLC trailer came out, which looks cool. I was slightly disappointed, I guess. I mean, it just looked like another Divine Beast. I mean, one of the biggest problems with the Breath of the Wild was that, like, all of the, quote-unquote dungeons, in this case, the Divine Beasts, they're all the same. They all have, like, the same, like, a Sheikah pattern. You know, they're fun little puzzles, but, you know, they were kind of sparsely populated with enemies, and overall, they just all felt the same. They were differentiating from each other at all. And all the boss fights were the same for those as well. And the shrines all have the same aesthetic, you know. And there's, so it looks like there's more shrines. I don't know, maybe just like 4, one for each of the champions. And then another dungeon, though this one looks like it's a bit more stylistically differentiating, which I'm glad. But it's still got that kind of like Sheikah, you know, design on it, which I'm not. I've seen a lot of that pattern now. Well, that's fine, I guess. I don't know. We just saw like a few clips. I don't have my Switch with me right now. I won't be able to play it until tomorrow. So, I don't know. Or maybe I could find some footage out there. Just see some people People are probably live streaming it right now. I bet. Let's see here. Breath of the Wild DLC. But yeah, this new dungeon looks a little differentiating. It's got some lava bits. It's got some spiky bits. So who knows? It might be cool. And there's more cutscenes, which is good. Of Zelda before, I was kind of hoping for like, you know, a sequel, not a sequel, but an ending, I guess. Something that happened, you know, after the credits roll, as opposed to, you know, what happened before the fall. But that's fine. The Link motorcycle is cool as hell. That thing is awesome, dude. Let me see this. Breath of the Wild DLC 2. People are streaming it already, I can tell. How is nobody streaming it yet? Is it not available? I don't even know if the Game Awards are over yet. I just watched until I saw the trailer and then I was kind of done. Can I not filter by live streams? Maybe I have to go to YouTube Gaming. Regardless. But yeah, no, that looks cool. I'm excited. I'm gonna buy it. I didn't buy DLC 1 yet, so that'll actually give me something to mess around with. Even though I still have plenty to do in Mario and Rabbids, and I'm only like a quarter through Mario and Rabbids. That game is really fun. And then I still have like 250 moons to collect in Odyssey. Something like that, maybe like 300 actually, 350. I know you have to like buy like over 100 of them. I have no idea how I'm gonna get that many coins, especially considering I like buying all the costumes and stuff. What else did I want to talk about? I was thinking before this, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. I should do another episode. Okay, what are people in the chat saying? Let's see here. Okay. So, yeah. I don't see any. Oh, that was the thing people complaining about today. That Patreon has edited their the way they're charging people now. So, I think the backlash was more than deserved, but the way it's rolled out is clearly going to discourage some people from patroning in the future. So what Patreon used to do is that if a patron donated like $1 to a creator of their choice, what would happen is Patreon would take a 5% cut, and then they would take 2 to 10% for like processing fees. And then the creator gets the rest, approximately 81% of the actual dollar. Now today they're changing it, or they're changing it on by December 15th, so that if someone donates $1, the patron or the creator gets 95 cents, like just flat. They get 95% of everything. Patreon gets 5%, and then the fees are tacked on for the patron. So instead of like, whereas before, you know, the patron paid $1 and that was it, you know, and all the fees came out of the $1. Now, you know, the patrons are paying for the fees, which is like 2.39% plus 35 cents or something like that. Which is really discouraging for like $1 patrons and like low-level patron tiers, like $1 and $3 stuff, because that like adds a lot to their you know, to their stuff. Someone made a post where it's like 20% increase if you're like just doing a $1 thing. And yes, the patron or the creators are making more money and it's more stable. But people got really mad about that. And they just put out a blog post, and I don't know, it was something about whatever. I got to be a part of the Patreon community now, so if I want to make it big in Patreon. Hi Donovan, your presence is always welcomed. The key is overpriced IMO. That's not the point, dude. The point isn't to buy stuff. The point is that it's there if people want it. I'm not advertising for, you know, oh, I'm not selling a service here. If I was, I'd be going to Fiverr, okay, and do voice acting, which maybe isn't that bad of an idea, actually. But Patreon, the idea is that people support me and then they get rewards as like a thank you for their support. It's a secondary thing. It's not the I mean for some people certainly it's a primary reason. I mean Patreon even they say it themselves when you're setting up a page like, oh, like 50% of creators tend to get 50% more earnings when they have like rewards or rewards. But I don't think people would pay for it. It's not that people would pay for that. It's that it's there if people would maybe want to donate $20 to me for brick film. And that's the highest one I have, okay? That's not the most out there possibility in the world, okay? Especially with my recent pace of brick films where I've barely put out like one every other month this year, if you don't count Mia Mabby J. And nothing I've made for Mia Mabby J would have counted like as a patron post anyway. Except for maybe Cafe, because I put an oddly high amount of effort into that one. So that counts as one. That's one charge. So yeah. The idea is I'm not pushing anyone. It's just there if people want it. Okay? There are Patreons where people, like the best guy ever. There's a YouTuber I follow, best guy ever. He's got a Patreon, just no rewards. He's got tiers. He's got a $1, $5, $10, $20, $50 tiers, but no rewards. Because his content speaks for himself, clearly. And of course he doesn't do it full time, but whatever. He's not trying to shill. He's got the bare bones state of what a Patreon is supposed to be, where it's a donation page where fans can all come to support a creator in one place, and then the creator can, you know, do posts and send exclusive links and whatever. So, that being said, I didn't want to talk about Patreon because I already talked about it for the entire show last time. Yeah. Okay. What did I want to talk? Oh, right. YouTube Rewind. Oh my god, what a meme. What a fat meme that was. Oof. You know what? I actually thought, I went on a Twitter thing about this. I thought the 2017 Rewind was better than the 2016 one. Granted, I hated most of the music from the 2016 one. The 2017 one, just like the music itself was better, you know, it within my tastes more. Like they got Ed Sheeran and I don't know, Kendrick is cool, I guess. I don't really do a whole lot of rap hip hop, but at least it wasn't something like Lil Pump. You know, at least they didn't put Gucci Gang in there. It could have been exponentially worse. Let's be real, okay? Rewind 2017 could have been way worse. And, you know, people went on these tangents like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But after 2016, like, 2016 was the bottom. dude. That was the bottom level that you possibly could have gone for a rewind. Okay. 2017 comparatively, way better. First off, not as many celebrities. All right. 2016, they started out with The Rock. Granted, 2017, they started out with Stephen Colbert. So, okay, that's not the best argument. I listed down, like, all of the celebrities that were included in the 2016 versus the 2017 one. The 2016 one had, like, twice as many, like, late-night talk show hosts and you know, and singers and actors and whatever. Whereas, you know, 2017, you had Colbert, you had the Despacito guys, you had that kid from Vine that does like the weird arm thing where he you know, dances back and forth with his arms, whatever. You got Big Shaq, which was a very welcome addition. He highly underutilized, must I say, okay? Big Shaq, so much potential. And I like what they did with him, but he could have been used so much more. I wish they cut off like half the time they used for Shooting Stars, because they had one Shooting Stars segment, which was fine. You know, I was expecting that. I like Shooting Stars as a meme. But then they did it again, so that was weird. And I just wish instead of that second Shooting Stars meme, they just did a whole men's not hot thing. Okay, men's can never be hot. That Flores lava challenge, that totally just passed over my head. I did not remember that at all. Granted, I'm not the most in tune with all the cool hip challenges these days. I don't have the Hillary Clinton campaign to follow to keep up on all the cool challenges. Oh, Hillary. The other day I saw this Vine of her, and she's like, it starts out with like a picture of like a koozie cooler that says Chillery Clinton, and then she like turns the camera over to her and she says, "I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids." It's the most forced thing in the world. I love it. Oh my god. Of course this was back on the campaign trail. But that was just the funniest stuff. Anyway, so back to the rewind. Yeah, so nowhere near as many celebrities, okay? Addition of Man's Not Hot. They actually acknowledged the animators. Some YouTube animators, even though they had It's Alex Clark, which I hate him. Ugh, God. I hate Alex Clark so much. I don't really hate him. You know, he's just there. He's hustling. He's doing his own thing. But there's nothing behind his videos, right? It's a story. He's a story time YouTuber that uses videos, kind of like Domix, but he doesn't have the charm of Domix. You know, Alex Clark just seems very, you know, it's creative, but it's like the most pandering, lowest common denominator kind of creative when it comes to like those story time kind of videos. Regardless, I'm glad they had a little section for animators at the end, because animators have been getting shafted on YouTube since 2014 when they switched over from views to minutes watched. Thanks Susan. And so it's nice that YouTube's acknowledging them. It's actually quite surprising that like 3 years after that animators have been able to make it. And you know, I think a big part of that is to the you know, there are these animators that have become like big, like I said, like Alex Clark or someone like Domix, where they do like these story time videos or animation, or you know, they have like a topic to talk about where it's not like really animated, it's just more like a medium for them to talk through, you know, minimally animated, I should say. But Patreon, of course, as well, has also like had a resurgence for animators. Go looping around back to Patreon. There's this one guy, his name's OtaKing777, and he does the most incredible hand-drawn anime. Everything he does is hand-drawn, and it's asinine, the kind of stuff he does. Anyway, for the rewind, yeah, of course, again, we had people complaining. They don't know like 90% of the people, which I complained about that as well. But to be entirely fair, I watched the behind the scenes right after the rewind. And YouTube's more international than you think, man. It's not just, you know, US, UK, Aussie, New Zealand, Canada. All right, it's, you know, they have I mean, they have YouTube spaces all over the world. They had a shoot. So during the rewind, they had a shoot in LA, where they got, you know, a bunch of LA based creators. They had one in Tokyo for, you know, the Japanese creators, and East Asian creators. They had one in Brazil, which I was surprised about, but I guess that makes sense. Brazil is a country of 200 million people, so I guess there's a YouTube presence there. Or I guess a strong presence on YouTube there. And you know, what was that whole meme? That whole meme of like, come to Brazil. The whole meme of like people from other countries saying, come to my country, you know, to like artists and YouTubers and stuff. And I think Brazil was the one that became memeified. And then they also, yeah, so they had Brazil, they had Tokyo, they had I think London as well. You know, so naturally I'm not gonna know like all the ones that don't speak English, because I don't watch any channels that aren't English. As much of a weeb as I am, everything I watch is in English. So yeah, but I mean, still, I think I recognized like a dozen people in that video. Some of the people I missed, like Matt Pat, he had just a ton of makeup on for you know, because he was, yeah. First time we watched, Donovan says, first time we watched it, a friend got so much cancer, closed the tab and started talking about Houston. Yeah, he didn't even make it through the video. We were watching it at lunch, like right when it came out yesterday, or the day before. No, yeah, yesterday. And he just, when it started like doing like the whole Houston thing, which, yeah, and they were all like holding hands, and I guess that was tasteful, but it just kind of felt really disingenuous when they went from that into the Jake Paul and Logan Paul brothers. You know, and back to fidget spinners. Whoa, it's a fidget spinner DJ. Would you? Whoa. So that's fun. We need grade A in the rewind, if anything. I hate grade A. Grade A under A? Jesus. Oh yeah, no PewDiePie this year, so that was a knock against the 2017 one. But I don't know. I just overall found it better. Oh, they got Philly D finally. Philip DeFranco, man. I'm a big fan of Philip DeFranco. I watch his videos every day, because he does the news. He does them very well. Even if he was only in there for like 3 seconds. With all the other grave diggers. The Shape of 2016. Christ. I watched the Shape of 2017. I watched the 2016 one before this, and it was it's much more tame. 2016 one has about 500,000 dislikes, 4 times the views, whereas the 2017 one has about 200,000 dislikes. Wouldn't it? Oh no, 800,000. Wow. Wouldn't it have been incredible if like instead of the YouTube play button they did for the solar eclipse, they had the YouTube yellow demonetization symbol going over the sun. Oh my god, that would be the most hilariously self-aware thing ever. I don't even know who YouTube would be throwing shade at if they did that. Would it be at themselves? Would it be at the creators for whining about it all the time? I don't know. That would have been great though. Oh, you guys can hear all this. Sorry. And, you know, people are like, oh, we're the H3s of the world. We're the Idubbzes. I mean, that's representative of a part of YouTube. But you gotta realize that when they set out to do these things, these are like the corporate demo reels that they send out. Like, hey, advertisers, look at this cool community we have here on the internet. Of like celebrity-looking people with high production budgets, you know? Because that's exactly what people come to YouTube for. People with high production budgets and people who look like celebrities. And they're all pretty. Anyway. They had Tomska in there. That was cool. Tomska's he does cool stuff. No Freddie Wong though. I was surprised about that. Who else we got here? Dan and Phil. I'm gonna just go through the list of people that I actually know. They have like a website where they just have everybody on here. Wasabi, India back. Oh yeah, they had Liza Sign, Anthony Padilla. That's the guy from Smosh, and he quit earlier this year, I think. Is he doing what's he doing now? Does he do like vlogs or whatever? Okay. I used to watch a lot of Smosh back in like 2013. Oh, Brave Wilderness. Yeah, those guys were in there for a few seconds. Coyote Pete. That's the guy that gets stung by a bunch of stuff. He's internet Bear Grylls. It's great. Let's see here. Billin' girl, chica. She's Japanese. That's not racist. Casey. They got Casey Neistat, of course. Who else? They had Matthew Santoro, Dan and Phil, which, ooh, love them. Love them. Dan TDM, David Dorbick, D-Storm. I've heard of D-Storm before. What else we got here? Doodle. I'm not going through all of these people. I'm just saying the names. Oh, they had Emma Blackery in there. When did they have Emma Blackery? I like her EP. I wish I could take you back time. Epic Rap Battles. I thought Epic Rap Battles was over now. I don't know, maybe they're just on hiatus. FAP TV? Wait, whoa, what is this? What is this? FAP TV. I think this is like a Japanese. FAP TV. They got 3 million subscribers. What? No. It's FAP TV. What? Oh my god. FAP TV. What do they do? It's like a lineup of like 10 Japanese people. Oh wait, no, that's not Japanese. What is that language? What the hell? Location. Vietnam. Oh, okay, that's weird. Oh, it looks like they do skits. Okay. That's cool, I guess. FAP TV. That was worth it going through this. Let's see here. Imagine the huge feat it would be if Michael Hickox got featured. If anyone would get featured, it'd be Forrest, because Forrest has connections in the world, you know, to like he may not like Forrest could easily be the biggest brick filmer. It's just that for the past few years he's been like focusing on doing connections and commissions and stuff. I just listened to a podcast with him from 4 Monkeys, and I think he's moving back to St. Louis to like do a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, Fine Bros Entertainment, but neither of the Fine Bros were there. Okay, interesting. What else we got here? Gigi Gorgeous. Oh, that's the trans lady that had the documentary. Cool. Hola Soy German. That's like the second biggest YouTuber, I think. He's got 32 million subs. It's those Latino speakers, man. People underestimate the Spanish-speaking side of the internet. There's like 800 million Spanish speakers in the world, whereas like native English speakers, there's only like, I don't know, 500 million. Add another like 200 million if you add the people in India that kind of know English. Let's see. Oh, Justine, of course. Alex Clark. Jaden Animations. Jack's Films. He was in there, yeah. Jake Paul. Both the Pauls. Captain Sparkles. Cool. Kawanashi. Kawanishi. They had a lot of. I get. Hey man, Asia, whatever. Like I said, I don't. Oh, Lele Ponds. Yeah, they did have more Viners this year than last year, didn't they? Since Vine totally died. Thanks, Lele Ponds, for being a YouTuber. No, I mean, I'd have Viners over, like, you know, late night talk show hosts, at least. Because at least like all these Viners that have migrated to YouTube are like making vlogs and stuff. Whereas late night talk show hosts, you know, they just post clips from their show to YouTube and get 100 million views because it's, ooh, celebrities are relatable. Liza Koshy, yeah, that's a superwoman, right? 12 million subs, Jesus. Logan Paul, we got Despacito, guys. Daddy Yankee Daddy, whatever his name is. Markiplier, Marky Mark. Matt Pat. Martinez Twins. Martinez. Mady Braps? When was Mady Braps in there? Matty B, my boy. When was he in there? I always forget that Matty B is like my age. I get him. Not Matty Burrito. Matty B Raps. How old is he again? Oh no, never mind. He was born in 2003. Oof. There was someone out there that was like my name. Wait, how is Matty he's only 14? Looks older than that. Ugh, that's gross. How's Jacob Sartorius doing? He hasn't been a meme in a while. Jacob's older than Matty B. Oh no. Oh no. Matty B looks way older than Jacob. Only by a year, but still. Ugh, at least they didn't have JoJo Siwa. Thank God. I don't even know what she does. I just know that I don't like her. I was at Target the other day and I tweeted about this. I saw she had a book. And it was whatever. I don't know, man. Who else was in here? Nikki. Oh, this is alphabetical. Philip DeFranco, yeah, he was there. Yeah. That was cool. I did appreciate that scene with like all the dead memes. All-Star was an interesting choice. I'm glad it happened in the end, I suppose. Rhett and Link's always been in the rewinds. They're such poster boys. Rudy Mancoso, he's one of those Viners. I've seen me a Vine compilation or two in my days. Simon's Cat, they've been around for a while. The Smosh team. Did any of you guys see that that new game show Smosh has called it's like what you posted that? It's it was a good try. Nah, it was fine. It was a fine game show. They had an episode with H3. Tabs, that was the one animator I didn't know. Tetha Brooks, the competition shuck. These guys up on me. The Gabby Show. The only reason I know that name is because of Keemstar. Tomska, odd one out. What does odd one out do? Or odd ones out too? I mean, I know they do animations. I don't know what kind. Vanos Gaming, I've heard that before. Vsauce 2 and 3. No Michael from Vsauce, which is a shame. Let's see here. Yuya. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, oh, they had some creators in here with Poppy, of course. They had some creators in here with only a few 100,000 subs, surprisingly. I guess they just kind of like sent a blast email out to like anyone who's in the area. It's like, hey, we're gonna be shooting today. You know, feel free to come over if you want. Oh, YouTube. You know what? I could probably be in a rewind next year. I just gotta like make connections at YouTube. How do I do that? I can't use the YouTube. Oh, I can use the YouTube space. I totally forgot. So, if you didn't know, YouTube has like studios, like all over the world. Like they have some in LA and New York and Rio and Tokyo and stuff. That's probably where they filmed a lot of this stuff. Yeah, they're called YouTube spaces, and I totally forgot. The only thing you need is like either A, you need to be 18, or B, you need to have like adult supervision. And you need at least 10,000 subscribers. That's it. Just 10,000, and then you can schedule an appointment with like all this super expensive equipment and, you know, all these lighting and green screen rooms. It's like, what? You know, like, well, I mean, that seems awfully generous of YouTube, but I don't know, whatever, man. So I technically could use one of those now that I have 10K. I don't know if any of them are here. Wait, okay. Where are all the YouTube spaces? They've been opening a lot of them up over the past 2 years, I think. They got Berlin, London, LA, Mumbai, New York, Paris, Rio, Tokyo, Toronto. So I guess the closest one to me would be LA. Oof. Ugh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh well. That's fine. Jesus, they got some really big equipment here. They got like VR headsets. Oh man. I just want to go to the one to like get a tour. That'd be cool. Mumbai? Really? I guess they did have a few Indian YouTubers there as well. Speaking of YouTube, how about that oh, what is it called? What is it called? Oh, how are you guys liking this new YouTube communities feature? How are you thinking about that? Pretty cool, right? I think it's actually a pretty neat feature. It's just that everyone, you know, it's yeah, like anything, YouTube doesn't necessarily put it to the best use. As far as I can tell, on desktop, the posts don't show up in your subscriptions feed. For some reason. I don't know why they wouldn't be in, like on mobile in the subscriptions feed. They have the option, or I guess by default, they have it so that you get these posts from like this new YouTube community feature where people can do like text posts and stuff and like polls. So like if you're going through the subscriptions on the YouTube app, you can see like people have been like posting like screenshots and pics and stuff like that. But if you go to the subscriptions feed on desktop, it's just the videos. And I mean, of course, on mobile as well, you can set it so that it's just like either videos and posts or just videos only. Yeah, this could have been done way better. Okay, as with everything. Now, granted, I am no web designer. I will happily admit. But I think I could have done this better, frankly. Why not have a separate tab, like right next to subscriptions, that says community, and then it's like a subscriptions feed, but for all the community posts from your favorite channels, you know, or all the channels, you know, you're subscribed to. Wouldn't that make it easier? Wouldn't that make it easier so that it could be differentiated from the videos subscription feed on mobile, and so that it have like an easy place to find on desktop? Because right now on desktop, as far as I know, the only way to like get to the community feature is to go to the person's channel and then go to the community tab and then see if they've posted anything. And you know, if you're subscribed to like 140 people like I am, I don't want to look through everyone's thing every day to see if they posted something. That has been, I mean, the idea itself, the concept itself is good. I think it's actually a good feature for YouTube to have. And it's nice to have, you know, but of course they could be. I mean, it's easy to say like, oh, well, they could have been spending all this time working on their monetization, blah 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 blah, which, yeah, I guess. But that's been one of the biggest weaknesses of YouTube, is that it's just video based. And sure, you have text in the forms of like, you can upload a video that's text, or you have the description, which people don't really look at unless you tell them to. And you have like the top comment, I guess, unless people disable comments. Which is another interesting tangential point I want to get on. This YouTuber DizzyBro I follow, he recently started doing this thing where he's disabling comments on the video, but not because like, oh, he can't take criticism or he hates the comment section or anything like that. I mean, he does hate the comment section, but it's this interesting thing where he says like, if you've ever studied like artistic design or anything like that, you'd know that presentation is part of the whole thing. Like if you have a painting next to a different painting, then the meaning of the first painting is differentiated? No. Regardless, it's affected, right? It's no longer just like its own thing. It's affected by what is what's around it. And so you know, when you post a piece, like a work of art, to YouTube, then you have the like all these comments right below it, and those comments, you know, you might just like glance at them, and then that affects your art inherently. Like you might be watching a video and somebody's making a point about something, but then you go to the top comment and it's like, actually so and so and so, and then it gets you thinking like, oh, well, now this video is dumb, right? As opposed to, you know, taking in the experience of the video and then going somewhere else for discussion, and going from there. And so I found that really fascinating, because like, he's got a good point, you know. So he started disabling his comments on some videos. He's got a second channel where he's kind of stopped doing that, probably because it was too much of a hassle. But he would only have one comment, and it was his, and it was a link to his subreddit to discuss the video. And I think that certainly works for like bigger channels, because he's got like 300,000 subscribers on his main channel, like 70K on the second channel. And so you know, then you get, when you have the opportunity to have a subreddit like that, then yeah, of course, you know, when you're that big, you can have enough of a following that's more dedicated, that'll follow you to different websites. But for smaller creators, like it's kind of like, well, you know, and what am I gonna do? Like make my own. I guess you can make a Discord or something, but I don't know. I totally understand where he's getting from, where it's like comments affect the video, affect the work that you're creating, you know, inherently, as in terms of like framing, you know. But I mean, personally, I'm fine with comment. This isn't me saying I'm gonna turn off comments ever, because I enjoy comments, even though any comment section is horrible. Okay, so when I say like 90% of my comments are kind of just useless, I mean that's true. But 90% of anyone's comments on a YouTube video are useless, because it's just so easy for people to just like, boom, you know, it's right there. And so then you get a lot of like, quote unquote, I guess, useless opinions, even though one opinion isn't like inherently more valid than the other. But you get a lot of like less thought out comments and feedback and opinions, because of course, you know, if it's just right there and someone can say lol cool, then it's like, okay, thanks dude, I guess. You know, that's not like criticism, that's not feedback, that's not a discussion. So yeah. How do you add the feature? It doesn't show up for my channel. You need to have at least 10,000. No. You either need at least 1,000 subs or 10,000 subs for the community feature to work. So yeah. What else happened? Oh, I want to talk about this Curts Kazak. They make cool videos about like science and stuff. And they had a video about the universal basic income, which I thought was pretty neat. Where do I want to start with this? I don't know. I've always had this kind of back and forth with Curts Kazak, where it's like, you know, they're German. So, Sig Heil, am I right, guys? No. So clearly they're going to be more on like the progressive European kind of side of things when it comes to political or kind of stuff. But Curts Kazak generally does a really good job of being very bipartisan and looking at the facts and looking at, you know, how science or whatever affects this stuff, or philosophy or whatever. And they had a video on the universal basic income. And like the benefits and, you know, maybe what could be bad about it, what could be good about it. And a lot of people in these comments are like, oh yeah, like communism. Even though he was talking about like, oh, for poor people, give them like $1,000 a month. Oh, but they're never gonna work. Except the studies show that they will. Oh, but they're gonna work less. But the studies also show that they'll take care of their kids, spend time to take care of their kids, or do education or whatever. There's such like an anti-socialist, anti-communist stigma in the United States. And that's not for bad reason. I mean, communism was pretty bad. I don't think full-on communism could ever work. Now I'm getting political, Jesus. I think there's certainly some, you know, some socialist ideals that could work. I don't know what I'm trying to think of. Like for healthcare, right? You know, clearly, people like Obamacare, right? Stick with me for a second. And private healthcare is very expensive, but it provides competition. So what if you had like both? What if you had like the minimum healthcare as an option, but you also had private healthcare as well? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying here. I don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions in these comments. I was walking out getting my ticket for Last Jedi, and I was watching this video and looking through the comments, and I was just getting irritated. This is what I guess this loops back around to like the whole comments thing, where it's like I was actively agitated, and now my perception of the video and like my thoughts and memories associated with this video are now inherently more negative because of like all the misinterpretation that's going around in these comments that are just clearly like so anti whatever that, you know, it to a point where it's like they won't even like actually think about something, where it's like, okay, let's look at the basics of universal basic income, where a lot of countries think maybe it's a good replacement for welfare, where, you know, you just barely get above the poverty line, something like $1,000 a month, and then, you know, look into that, see what, you know, what could be the benefits, what could be the disadvantages of that. But then there are people who are just like, oh yeah, communism, blah 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 blah. Yeah. I got like, I don't know what I'm saying. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. So, that's pretty cool, right? Anywho. I think on that note, I'm going to end this. Talking about communism and socialism and universal basic income. Exciting, right? Oh, JJG, how's it going, man? What's up, my patron boy? Sorry, leaving the stream to go watch the new Philip DeFranco episode. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Talking about like that porn star that killed herself because of that guy. Man, that was a sad story, wasn't it? Like, Jesus. Like, if you haven't heard this story, August Ames, who's a porn star, she said something on Twitter like, what was it again? It was like, oh, for the girl who's taking on my role on this new show, I hope you know that you're gonna be like, your co-host is a gay man, or something like that. It was something that was like, vaguely, that was like kind of, you know, like really homophobic undertones, you know, or not like undertone. That was overtly kind of homophobic. And then people started like hounding her, like blah. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is day and age, blah blah blah. And so eventually she kills herself today, which is like, wow, crazy. Oh, Q&A time. Yeah, sure. If you guys have any questions, might as well. But yeah, no, that was an interesting story. It did bring up an interesting conversation about like, you know, what it, you know, like the meaning behind what she said was like, because obviously, you know, it's fine if you have like sexual preferences. You're like, oh, I don't want to do scenes with gay guys or whatever. But you know, is that homophobia or is that not? I don't know. It just brought up a good conversation. Can you do a Rick voice? Not really. Morty, this is a terrible impression video. Bleh. Oh, that was the most forced burp. Oh, that was a real burp. Morty, I don't want to do. I just. Like, Morty, I don't want to do that. Morty, let's not talk about socialism. This is a boring topic. You just sound really ignorant, Morty. I'm sorry. Would you do a normal live stream or podcast where your true fans will watch, but in that live stream or podcast you will watch the people who are watching vids, but the title is just like animating live? I don't think that would get my true fans, quote unquote. It would just, I mean, the people watching would be people that are just available, because the way I do live streams, it's that I just do them whenever. Like this live stream, I just did it because, you know, I felt I'm so tired that I'd rather make a podcast than actually work on homework. And I'll just neglect my homework tonight, I think. And just not do it. Anyway, but yeah, if that gives you any indication on how much of a goddamn procrastinator I am. Yeah, I don't think that'd work in terms of, like, if I just had a live stream that said animation live stream, I wouldn't get like my true fans. It would just be people that pop in for 5 seconds, which is normally what happens. Like, you know, it only says like 5 or 6 people watching right now or whatever, but like over the course of the live stream for an hour, like I get like 100 or 200 people that pop in for at least something like this. And so what they do is they pop in and they say I'm looking at videos, and then it just started a whole cycle. So I don't know. But if you're looking for a specific one-on-one thing, there is a reward tier on my Patreon where I have exclusive one-on-one feedback. For only $20 a brick. That's so bad. Can men ever get too hot? Men can never get hot. There's this one meme. I think I talked about this the other day, but it was Big Shaq photoshopped onto an astronaut, and it was NASA to send Big Shaq to Sun to see if men can never be hot. I'm 11 and I want to get really good like you in a few years. Oh, thank you. Any tips? Look at tutorials, man. Like, teach yourself how to animate. I guess. I don't know. Ease in, ease out, but eventually you get to the point where you can start breaking rules. Okay, just look up a lot of tutorials. Fancy Pants has good animation tutorials. Oh god, I have too many thoughts in my mind about this stuff. Ease in and ease out. Make sure your camera settings are in manual. Make sure your lighting is stable and doesn't flicker unless that's the point. Do your own thing. Like, if you want to get popular, quote unquote, you gotta carve out your own niche. You gotta do your own thing. Otherwise, if you're making Lego Marvel Part 4, like everyone else, you're not going to stick out from the crowd, even if you do have, like, decent videos. So, yeah. Ease in and ease out, I guess. Even though I have a video that's coming out soon where it's like, you shouldn't ease in and ease out for these scenarios. You don't ease in and ease out all the time. Anyway. Any tips on making dank memes? What is this, 2014? Dank memes? What am I gonna get what are those videos called again? The, oh, I guess MLG videos, like the MLG parodies. With like all the screaming and the wombo combo and the Mountain Dew and smoke weed every day. God, I loved those videos. I love those so much back in like 2015, 2014. That was my stuff, man. I don't make memes. I am a meme. Do you talk about politics at Thanksgiving dinner? No, that's tradition. No. I don't have big family Thanksgivings. See, now if you were up on the meme oh my god, Bitcoin. I never talked about Bitcoin. That's what I wanted to talk about. It's been itching at me for okay, I'll go over this quickly. So I see Bitcoin goes up to $10,000, right? And I'm like, wow, I should start learning about this stuff. And so before learning about anything, I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin just to see what would happen. And the problem is that I'm using this website, and because the amount of Bitcoin that I bought was so low, the fee was like $1. So that's 10%. So for $10, I got $9 worth of Bitcoin and a $1 fee. So I got $9 worth of Bitcoin, and I have to make at least, it has to be worth at least $11 if I want to break even, because of course I'm gonna have another $1 fee if I want to sell. But luckily, Bitcoin's been skyrocketing over the last few days, and it's up to $16,000 now. So now my $9 is worth $13. Earlier today, it was at 18,000, almost 19,000. And it's fascinating. I started watching this YouTube channel called Data Dash, and he's got a lot of good like tips and tricks on like learning Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, man. It's like learning stocks on top of all the dumb technological stuff. I mean, you don't need to know like the technological aspect of Bitcoin or other various cryptocurrencies like Litecoin or Ethereum. But you know, if you want to be like a smart investor, it's like you know, if you don't necessarily know the technical aspect of like what each cryptocurrency provides, you know, in terms of what purpose they fill and, you know, all the technical stuff, it's like investing in a company on the stock market without really knowing what that company does. You know, like a Berkshire Hathaway. Like, what do they do? I don't know, but I've heard they're good, so I guess I'll invest in it, you know, kind of thing. I think Berkshire Hathaway is an investment firm, so that wasn't the best comparison. But it's like saying, like, imagine if you'd never heard of Apple before, and you're like, huh, this Apple thing, oh man, that Apple thing is really popular. I think I'm going to invest in it. And you know, so, and I saw that there's this one YouTuber I follow called Etika, and he invested today like $200 of Bitcoin on Livestream because he wanted to cash in. And granted, I mean, this guy gets like hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars on live streams in donations. So I think part of it was for show, to like have like a fun live stream. But like, this Bitcoin's in a bubble right now, man. It's not a bubble in the sense that it's gonna like crash, but like the price over the past month just went up like 100%. 1 month it went up, it went up 100%. So it's gonna be drawing back, you know, like a stock. Like, oh, when, you know, it's a stocks thing where it's like, oh, now that's up high, people are gonna sell and it's gonna go back low. And so now I've been learning like data with like market patterns and stuff, and it's like, oh, holy Christ, what am I doing? So I won't. Now I wish I invested like $100 instead of like 10, because then I'd have like, you know, for like my $99 that I get of Bitcoin, it'd be worth like 130 now. And earlier today it would have been worth like 150. And and if any of you want to get into buying cryptocurrencies, just like with any other type of investing, you just make sure that don't put in, you know, more money than you're willing to lose. That's why I only started with $10, because I mean, granted, you know, I just wanted to see what would happen, to see if, you know, if it would go up. But now I'm getting serious about this stuff, and I'm gonna wait until there are some major drawbacks in the market, because there in the next month you're gonna see a lot of drawbacks to Bitcoin, and like Litecoin and Ethereum and all these other stuff. So that's the time to invest. This Data Dash guy, he said a quote from Warren Buffett, which was like, "Get greedy," or no, like, get out when people are getting greedy, and get greedy when people are getting out, right? Meaning, like, when there's a bunch of hype around a stock and the stock is way high, you sell, right? Because then it's gonna like go way down. But after it goes way down, you buy the stock. You know, it's buy low, sell high. It's a stocks thing. Anyway, on that point, I'm gonna leave. I've overextended this episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll let the music play me out. Bye.